Tim FITZHIGHMAN, welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All the way from England.
Yes, thank
Wow.
you. Yes, yes.
Did it take 6 months in a leaky old boat? Did it?
No, it doesn't now. No, I don't know if you know. There's the plane that comes over.
You're here because of the 2014 International Comedy Festival.
Yes, that's true.
Is on right at the moment.
Yep.
It did start in April, but there's tons of time to tell our baby boomers that
Yep.
there's
2 weeks left.
all over town.
Yep.
And
It finishes on the 17th of May.
Yeah, and it's about time we all shouted ourselves to a laugh.
It's very true. Come along. You've got the best comedians in the world here in New Zealand for the next week and a half.
And you've got your own show called The Gambler.
And me, yes, my own
We're
show.
going to give tickets away. Did you know that?
Oh, are we? Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great?
good.
So 3 of our lucky viewers can get a double pass to come and see you.
Oh, wow.
And but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to know, what's your association with New Zealand? Had you heard of it before this, or are you a regular here? I don't know.
No, this is the very first time I've been to New Zealand.
Wow.
But my granny was born here. So
Your grandmother?
Yeah, weirdly, my granny was born in Wellington and grew up in Wellington, and then at the age of 6.5 got taken back to the UK. I think very much against her will.
She fought screaming
she
and
did. She
kicking
wasn't
all
happy
the way,
about it.
yeah.
She wasn't happy, and so she's actually a New Zealander, and becomes really New Zealand whenever the rugby's on.
Could you get a New Zealand passport automatically?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
She certainly has one, so she is a New Zealander. And the minute the rugby gets on, Granny is suddenly foreign. She's foreign to me. She becomes a foreign person. She's literally like suddenly my grandmother, who is tweed-wearing, pearls, and a gun-toting woman who couldn't be more English if you tried to be. She's my granny, but then suddenly you stick the rugby on and she goes,
All Blacks. She
go
loves
the All
them.
Blacks, yeah.
Why
She's
would she
absolutely there.
Wow,
She's
no.
suddenly, all the memories come back and flood back, and I don't know how Wellington created that woman, but she is lovely. There's amazing paintings in her house, actually, of New Zealand.
Wow.
From my great-grandparents, because they were here too. And they've got these beautiful paintings of, like oil paintings of the Maori boats coming into the harbours and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's always been a thing.
So you've heard about New Zealand?
No,
all
very
over?
much.
Yeah.
To me, it's been a magical place in my head, like I was a kid.
Your first visit?
Yeah.
At age?
30, mid-30s, yeah.
Mid-30s,
yeah,
35?
exactly right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I've been way overexcited about it. And I spent last week I was in Wellington, and this week, and next week I'm in Auckland. And I think I was like a puppy, just wandering around going, wow, this is the thing, and the thing, and the thing. And all the other comics going, it's
New Zealand.
It's great, but it is, just a bay.
So now that's a wonderful name, Tim FITZHIGHMAN. Did they join Fitz and a Higham together?
Yeah, they did. They did that. They
happen?
absolutely did that. Fitz means son. It just literally
Son
means
of
son.
Higham.
Yeah, that's all. And it's like I should be called in Norway. It would be like Higham Highamson. That would be what it was. So
Right.
yeah.
Now, comedy.
Yeah.
One of the cruelest occupations in the world, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you can die natural deaths. You stand up
Yes.
there and
Every night.
nobody laughs. So, why put yourself through that? What is it about comedy that you love? First of all, you're a funny person.
I love telling stories. I like the connection that you get with people when you tell a story. I think that's really exciting. I think the minute you tell a story, we all love stories.
Yes.
Everyone loves a
Once
story.
upon a time when we're in.
Exactly right. And it's like everyone really wants to be around a campfire telling a story when they were 6. I think that's what we all want. And I like my shows to feel like that. I like it to feel like you really get to know each other, and there's a connection. And I think without that, what's the point of it? What is the point of any show without that connection of the story of telling something?
How would you define your comedy? Is it stand up with quick-fired gags, or is it you build a long story and it gets funnier and funnier as you get into the story?
I think it's definitely storytelling. I think that's where I am, and I think
humorous things that have happened to you.
I try with this show, The Gambler, for example. I went out and I tried to win the 10 greatest bets in history. So I researched it. I went into the gentlemen's clubs, and not like saucy, gentlemen's clubs where they dance on poles.
The ones where they got a cigar.
Not those.
Nice,
no, not the old-fashioned. Yeah, exactly right. You're
and the
bang
old
on
leather
it. Yeah,
armchair.
the thing with the brandy and where men go when they reach a certain weight. Yeah. That's kind of that's the. Exactly, you'd be perfect. You'd be spot on, and you go in. No, you're too thin. But you go in there, and they make bets, and I went back 400 years to get these bets.
To find these 10
10 sort of greatest bets, the weirdest wagers, the kind of bizarrest bets in history, and I tried to win them over a course of a year. I literally took a year and I went, there's 10, I'm going to try and win them.
Wow.
And I just went for it. And this is the story of that experience. It's like, how did it go for Tim? What happened? And I think there's a genuine jeopardy, because there's a guy there that's put his house on the line. He's done everything. I broke every bone in my body trying to win these bets, because they were so, like, what I didn't realise, and this is an important point, is that in history, 10 different people tried to win these bets. I tried to win all of them
yes.
in a year.
And one of them is you rode the English Channel in a bath.
Exactly right.
Bathtub?
Yeah, exactly
Bathtub.
right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which there's a couple of problems with that. When you set out
Just
to
two problems?
there's definitely a couple. When I didn't know this, but the English Channel is the busiest shipping lane in the world,
yes.
which I didn't know until I started in a bath, and they have these huge big ships, like they're massive ships. They have a stopping distance of 17.5 miles. So that's, I don't know what that is in K. Is that like 25K?
Yeah.
So that's the stopping distance. So imagine driving a car that had a 25K like stopping distance. So by the time they've seen you and they've put the brakes on, they've already gone through you and someone's phoning the undertaker. It's genuinely like trying to cross a motorway. I was trying to go across it broadside, like literally there were boats going like this.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to cross a very busy motorway riding a snail. That's what it is. You are genuinely trying to get across it on the slowest, like no one has ever rode the Channel in a bath. It is the slowest thing that has ever made it across the Channel.
And did you succeed? You did?
The first time I tried it, there's a bit of a, so the other problem is that the French government own half of it.
Yeah.
So the French own half of it. I phoned the French and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I told them everything. And they were polite and they were kind, they were generous, they were lovely. And they even went to the extent of going into the Parliament of France and passing a new clause in the Shipping Act of France, making it illegal to row a bathtub in French water, which in the context of my plan is a bit of a blow. And I thought this has got to be an initiative test. So I went to the Ministry of Transport in Whitehall and I said, no, this is what we're going to do. We are going to register my bath as a registered British ship. And to my total amazement, they went, yeah, all right, Tim, fair enough. And they actually registered it as a ship. So they put me on the captain's register, they gave me a small ship's thing, they sent me a letter saying, dear Mr. FitzHighman, please find enclosed the paperwork for your newly registered British ship, brackets, bathtub, close brackets. Please keep it with you at all times and in all places. We think the French are going to want to see this. And they went, even on the high sea. So please find enclosed to help you in the same. We've had it laminated. And it was laminated paperwork. It was so brilliant. So I got out in the sea across the Channel, and on the first attempt, I got caught in a force 7 storm, which is it's pretty feisty.
Yeah,
I mean, it's sort of like 4 meter waves, and they're coming down on me. For the viewers at home, if you imagine just lying in your bath and sort of a 3 to 4 meter wave just smashing down on you for 40 minutes. It was terrifying, and I lost the support boat, and my arm got slit, and I couldn't use it properly, and I was rowing with one arm, and for 40 minutes in a force 7, and finally the support boat found me, because apparently for 40 minutes I'd been heroically rowing in a circle, and they got me out, and then the French Navy came on the radio, and they said their solution to the Bath Channel, but they were calling me a problem at this point. You don't seem surprised. Was to put explosives on my bath and just blow it out the water. And I'd lost a lot of blood by that stage. I'm not going to lie, I was in a very bad way. But I went on the radio and I very clearly said, just to remind you that the sinking of a registered British ship without the permission of the captain will be taken as an act of war. Over. And there was total silence on all radio frequencies in the English Channel. In Dover, you could just genuinely hear the Coast Guard going, ah! And then they came back on the radio and just went, oh, you're right. And then they had this very bitter moment where they just went, can we sink the vessel, Captain? And I went, absolutely not. And it was this incredibly moving thing. And that was the first time I tried it. When I arrived in France, when I finally did it, and the first time I tried it, obviously there was this huge problem, and I inadvertently sort of came very close to declaring war on France. And when I actually made it, when I got there, I landed on a French Navy base, a top secret French, by mistake. I was very exhausted. I just rowed the Channel in a bath. No one's rowed it in anything a third of a ton before. Normally you row it in boats that weigh like the same as a bag of sugar. Whereas I was in a big, old-fashioned Victorian bath. It's very heavy. And I made it to front. My hands were absolutely ripped to shreds. My bottom was in a bad way, and can I say that? I don't know. And I made it.
Allowed in New Zealand.
Okay, and I made it to France, and I didn't care where I landed. I was delirious. I mean, I'd passed out twice. You know, I was a very delirious man at this stage. So I just saw land and went for it. And it turned out I'd landed on a French naval base, which was secret, and I didn't know. And you know, but what was amazingly moving about the whole thing is that there was a flotilla of French fishing ships, just normal fishermen, that had gone up behind the bath, and they had gone up to show support. Because on the radio, everyone knows this is happening in the Channel. Everyone knows that I'm trying to do this. They know that I've nearly died on the Force 7. They know I've tried it the year before and I've failed. But they get behind it, and they really got behind it. They got behind it, so they were spread out behind the bath. And I landed on the French Navy base. Nobody from the French Navy came out, because if they did, they would have had to have arrested me. That's the law in France. And yet, the French people broke into their own Navy base. They broke into their own naval base to come and say well done. They literally lined the shore to say well done. And that proves something amazing to me, is that everyone always says, oh, everyone hates the French. The people that really hate the French government are the French. You know, they literally broke it into their own naval base
to say
well done to a guy who was technically illegal.
Well, that's one gamble that paid off out of the 10.
Yep.
So it's called The Gambler.
It is.
Us New Zealanders have so enjoyed British comedians.
Yeah.
You know, Peter Sellers, for instance.
Yeah, which is amazing. Yeah.
Look, the listers, Monty Python,
Milligan. Yeah.
You had all those influences, of course.
Absolutely, 100%. I think you have picked essentially my sort of top three, really. Peter Sellers, Spike Milligan, and Monty Python. I think, and I almost weirdly, if you looked at what I'm doing, it's like a physical representation of what was going on in Milligan's head. So he would sing songs like "I'm walking backwards for Christmas," and I actually do that.
Or taking a piano to the top of a mountain.
Yeah, that's what I actually have done. You know, and I think that's a really nice way of saying to people, this is what the show's about. This is those guys. This is very British humour. You're going to enjoy it because it's ridiculous, it's silly, it's funny, it involves playing with national governments, you know, accidentally declaring war on France. It's brilliant. That is the plot of a Goon show right there.
Now, I guarantee, ever since that incident, you've been taking a shower, not a bath. You don't want to be in a bath again.
Well, funnily enough, when I registered it as a ship, they said you've got to have a masthead, because every British ship has to have a masthead. It's a mast. It's very important. And I said, well, what about we have a shower head? And I'll have it plumbed in. And they said, yeah, all right, fair enough. And it was just a brilliant moment.
Right, well, look, what we're going to do is we're going to tell our viewers now that The Gambler, which is going to be a great show, it's the tickets are just $20.
Yes.
And it's at the Classic Studio in Queen Street.
Which I have to say is brilliant. If you've not been there, it's a fantastic place to go.
It is a great place. 321 Queen Street.
It's like Cheers with comedy. There's a bar, and everyone knows you, and you go in, which is brilliant, and they all know your name. It's like the place where everyone knows your name, but also comedy.
So the dates are Monday the 5th to Saturday the 17th of May.
Yes.
Now, tonight is the 12th, so we've got 5 great days left.
Yep.
So we'll get our tickets out to our winners very quickly.
That would be lovely.
So they can get down there.
Yeah.
So it's every night, basically.
It is, till the 17th, And then I'm in Taupo after that.
So what we need is a question to qualify the competition. So we're going to say to our Babyboomer viewers, email Gerard at The Beat Goes On And in the subject line, if you want to win one of 3 double passes, I think the subject should include the word bathtub. What do you think
so. Yeah, yeah. I think it should. I think that's it. Send a thing. Yeah, re-bathtub.
What was the ship that Tim crossed the English Channel in?
Yes, exactly right.
A bathtub.
That would be great.
And as I say, well, we've got all the dates, and you're enjoying your time in New Zealand. Just before you go,
I can't tell you. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely lovely. In Wellington, I went to Weta, which I thought was amazing.
Yes. Oh.
Apparently, they made the Lord of the Rings there, which was amazing. And I went up the cable car and the Botanical Gardens, and I went to the Parliament Building. And it was just an eye opener. It was fantastic. I went in the beehive and I said to the guy, "What's on the top of the beehive?" And he went, "That's the cabinet room." And I was like, "What?" That was the thing that just blew my mind. In Britain, we shovel them down in a cellar. We're so paranoid about terroristical attacks. We put them down below. We're like, someone's going to kill these guys. In New Zealand, you go, let's stick them on the top floor. Let's do that. Come on, if you're a terrorist, have a go. And I just love that idea that they're sitting up there going, have a go if you want. It's not like it's a secret building. It looks like a wedding cake. It's the only building, if you stole a plane, that you could genuinely go, well, let's just head for the wedding cake. It's incredible, and that's what you've done. My brain just exploded. I thought it was fantastic.
So we're going to see you back next year, Tim?
I'd love to come back. I love New Zealand.
Wonderful.
No, it's been brilliant. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Thanks for representing the International Comedy Festival here in Auckland and throughout New Zealand.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for coming in and being the spokesperson.
Well, gosh, I don't know if I've done that, but I've tried, and it's been lovely to talk to you.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Thank you.